Welcome to the Fans Perspective. This is episode 17. I got my boy JD in here. My boy Bogey. How y'all boys feeling?
Hey, thank good, Big Brad. How you doing tonight, man?
Yeah, chilling, man. Just grinding, baby. Grinding. Yes, sir.
You already know, just slow motion in the big old ocean, trying to stay afloat per usual.
Come on now.
Yes, sir. All right, so today we got a T-Rail. They showing T-Rail getting his car towed this morning on Twitter, man. I was like, no. Let me bring that up real quick. Turn that off. Oh, Lord.
Hear that?
Turn it down. Now it's supposed to be T-Rail getting his car towed. He's snapping on the tow truck driver. He ain't going.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
That looked like smack with him too.
Mm.
Shut the fuck up, y'all. Oh my God.
Is that a Maserati?
I mean, that would have looked like
Look like
the Mazda.
Quattro Port, a four-door Quattro Port.
Let me see.
Definitely smack for sure.
Yeah, that's smack and him. T-Rail in the blue and smack in the black.
Mm.
I'm trying to figure out who's the other bro. Y'all more familiar than me.
Well, you got the one dude.
T-Rail smacker right there for sure.
That's crazy. So, all right. Now, the first time I seen this morning, I seen no jumper posters on Twitter, right? So I'm like, there you go, Adam. Steady taking shots at T-Rail. There was something else last week I was watching. Adam was taking shots at T-Rail, and I'm just like, yo, I think Adam he feels away because T-Rail was the perfect fit for no jumper. He was the perfect balance of street and he was and media. He had media skills. You know how to talk. He's articulate. You know what I mean? He was the perfect balance. So at the end of the day, I feel like because Adam lost him and he went out there and started his own fan base, you know, it's like every chance he get, you know, he feels some kind of way. He gonna say how he feels, man. It really burnt him up though. What y'all think though?
Well, Adam is on record saying that he felt that T-Rail had the most potential out of everybody of that no jumper era. 100%. So for sure, it definitely hurts him a lot, and that's why Bruh stay throwing them darts. 100%. You know what I mean? But my thing is with Adam is that like, well, you felt like T-Rail was that one, but also you brought T-Rail in the game, then you know you should be able to, you know, find some potential in somebody else. 100%. And if that wasn't the case, then why did you let T-Rail go? Because T-Rail said only reason why he left is because of AD. You know what I mean? 100%. But if you would have made that shit right, you wouldn't have to worry about him going. So that's why he's so hurt. 100%.
I'm not even gonna hold you. Like AD, T-Rail, and Gina Views was like the best cast he had.
Yeah,
because they were the perfect balance of, you know, well, I know AD and T-Rail, they're the perfect balance of street, and then, you know, Gina be outside. She know how to talk to people. She know how to get people to come through. You know what I mean? That's why you see on her podcast right now, you know, she got people coming through and doing interviews and stuff like that just on her own. You feel what I'm saying? So they all like whatever they doing now, they had this same potential on no jumper, but for whatever reason, Adam fumbled the ball, and now you got a bunch of gangbangers on there going to jail. Feds come talking to you. You know what I mean? I don't think that was really the peak of what he was looking for. I think that trio right there was really what he was looking for.
No, 100%. Because even with that trio, you still had a lot of the other shit too. Because you still had house phones still around. You still had the beginning of Sharp, his shit. You still had the beginning of Flacco coming around. You know what I mean? That was the height of No Jumper, 100%. They was having and the interviews was damn good too, because you just wasn't relying on the bullshit. I mean, you had Draco back to back. I mean, you had when he first came home, and then like right before he passed away, you had 2 damn good Draco interviews, 100%. You know what I mean? Not to mention other shit. That's the only thing that's coming off the top of my head right now. And it was Adam and AD on that interview, on both of the Draco interviews. You know what I mean? And Adam is so game goofy during that time. AD is telling him, "Look, bro, don't laugh at that joke. Look, don't answer that." You know what I mean? He's because Draco,
he got some kind of
I mean, he was game goofy, but this is where this motherfucker's starting to fall in love, because you see what T-Rail and AD is bringing to the table, and this motherfucker like, ooh, you know what I mean? He feeling good about this shit, and then
and I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, since they left him, what did he try to do? Replicate it in any other way, form, or fashion as possible, just as far as like just bring in some fools that are tied into some gangster shit. I think it started with bringing in AD and all of them that they were actually from the culture, and they were like, okay. And then as soon as they left them, because they were able to separate. Like, you could watch T-Rail and them and AD and them, and you know they're from the culture, but it don't matter. You could watch them; it's a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus
Now,
like having guests on that are from that culture and exploiting them because of it. You know what I mean? Which Adam went on a rampage of doing since then. You know what I mean?
To add on to that, right? You know, he tried to bring Brick Baby on, and I think he tried to make Brick Baby a new, like another version of T-Rail, like to have to be more of a conversationalist. He got a little bit of the bullshit on side, but I don't think I think he was getting close, but T-Rail coined it. You know how you try to get it to where it was before? He was trying to achieve that, bringing people on there and throwing, like, you know, after the, you know, the rah-rah and the, you know, stuff they come with to kind of, you know, garner the attention, he'll get them on podcasts and throw questions at them or throw topics at them and see what their reaction to it will be and see how they respond. You know what I mean? But I think T-Rail and AD and them, man, they coined that joint. They coined that. You know what I mean? You know, and they all move on, and they, you know, and they doing good in their own right. My only thing is why the other cats can't peep what T-Rail and them did and use No Jumper for that purpose. You know what I'm saying? Build up your hype. You're gonna make your money off of me. I'm on your channel, whatever. I'm doing interviews. I'm talking about topics or whatever. However, right? But eventually I move on and I do my own thing. And I build my own fan base. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and T-Rail and them, so like T-Rail and AD and them, right? Even with Brick, they're able to sit down, Munchie B, Spider Low, they're able to sit down with opposite communities. 100%.
Yeah.
This podcast game, that goes a long way, especially from down near where they at. 100%, bro. That goes a long way. You know what I mean? And for them to be able to sit down and make some content and not disrespect one another, but not have to be friendly, super like this, my dog, this my, you know what I mean? That goes a long way. And that's what AD and T-Rail brought for sure. Them other dudes say, no, we're not sitting down with the opposite. I ain't got to say no names, but it's on camera. No, we're not sitting down with nobody from the opposite side.
But you know what? You know, I meant to. I'm added to that. Add to that, right? You know how easy that's supposed to be in the real world. You see what I'm saying? Like, if we outside of that element, right? And we in a different element, we in a different space where we doing business and we doing stuff to try to make money, right? That should be the most easiest thing to get past. It shouldn't, that when people look at that, people that's not from that life, and they look at that, they be like, damn, that's kind of childish. Like, why y'all can't just sit down and go make some money? Legal money. You know what I'm saying? So when you a dude like Adam and you looking for that, you know what I'm saying? When you find a dude like T-Rail, AD, you know what I'm saying? Where they not too crazy, but they still solid. You know what I'm saying? But they have skills on the other side of things too. You know, they know, like I said, they know how to garner a crowd. They know how to bring guests. They know how to do interviews. They know how to bounce topics off each other. You know what I mean? You don't want to lose something like
Do you
that.
think there was some kind of insecurity from Adam's side where it's like, okay, yeah, T-Rail's a gangster and all that, but then like, and he's really good also. He transcends from just being a gangster. He's actually good as a personality on screen and as a content creator and things of that nature, right? But then he has like the hand thing, and he would always make fun of him about it, knowing that that's crossing the line with bruh as well.
He's gonna test. He's gonna test and see how if he can push their buttons. But dudes
Yeah, and
that's
that's some
intelligent like
bitch
that,
ass shit.
you're not pushing
But
their
I don't
buttons
think
that
Brett
easy.
care about that
That's some
neither.
bitch ass shit.
I've heard other people joke about
Like,
that.
don't
So I don't think Brett's-
listen, everybody can shit on everybody, but if it's something they can't help, you know what I mean? Like, that's just cold on your part. That's always gonna be where I stand on shit like that.
All right. So what you were saying, JD?
I've heard other people joke about him with that, so I don't think Brett insecure about that. 100%. I've even heard his.
I've seen him be really upset about it.
Huh?
I've seen him be really upset about it. Like when
Listen.
fools will come up, he'd be like, "I know fools don't know when they come up to give me the handshake." You know what I mean? And I go with the left, and then they don't get it, and But then there's a clip where he talks about Nas. Nas came up to him, hit him with the left, and they said the left hand handshake is because the left side is the heart. And then there's a famous clip on T-Rail, and he cries about it too when he tells the story. He's like, when I met Nas, like, yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Because like he's trying to be something bigger in the space, which I mean he is now, but at that time, without being judged for some kind of ailment that in this day and age with social media where people could just destroy you for. So Adam used to hold, he would throw little undertone shots at that. Yo, that shit's cold.
Yeah, but when you intelligent, you don't what it's about. Like, see, the jig is up. T-Rail and all them and AD and all, they was smart enough to peep game. So they know what it's about. So they ain't gonna let none. You're not gonna trick me out of what. Like, I got what I got, and you mad because I got what I got, and I'm over here and I'm building my own situation. And you're not gonna trick me out of that with foolery and talking words and video and all that. Like, you know what I mean? You're not gonna trick me out of that. You're not gonna bring me over to that other side and think I'ma just provoke you to go to your ignorant side and screw off everything you just built for yourself. Like, nah, you're not gonna get it. You know what I mean? I got the bag, you know what I mean? Like, you benefited while I was there, but I got some of that fan base over here too. And I think that's what really bothered him, you know what I'm saying? But hey, you gotta let people be great, man. Greatness ain't gonna sit in one space, for too long if it ain't being nurtured, right? So, you gotta move on and do what it do. You know what I mean?
Right there.
So I don't
think it'll sit in place unless it ain't nurtured correctly.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you feel
gotta
me?
water the seed.
You gotta water the seed, you know what I mean? So I don't care, because that footage, I think that footage is old footage, to be honest. I don't even think that's new footage. But even still, okay, so what? You know what I mean? Like, so what? He could have been probably having a liaison pay the car note. They wasn't paying it. Boom. So what? And ain't gonna stop him from getting on YouTube and still, running that bag up. Like, it ain't gonna stop that.
Shit like that might even actually, oddly enough, help them out because they'll be able to put out content explaining this shit from their end, from their side. Yeah. And then people that'll run up views too. You know what I mean? Like,
get another trio that's good. That's good like
culture that. Vulture at its finest.
So I mean, the bankruptcy shit, bro. He was making fun. Adam was making fun of that when they first left. So the bankruptcy shit, that he's probably clear of that. That probably only takes 7 years to get off your credit. That he was making fun of when they left. That was 2022, 2023. Okay, so this almost 2.5 years later. Maybe he got still some more, but once you start going through that lawyer process, that shit start to clear up. So I don't like you said.
But if he went bankrupt, so what? So what? So we don't never take no L's in this thing called life. We don't.
Filing for bankruptcy is like pretty much consolidating all your existing debts.
It's there for a reason.
Then you work it out with the IRS as a payment plan. You know what I mean?
It's there for a reason.
Filing for bankruptcy.
Yeah, you can't, like, yeah, like, so what we gonna clown him because he went bankrupt? So what?
Hey, but you know what, too, though?
That means you was balling.
All the repo men that I know don't have no graphics on their tow truck. It's a solid all white one with all tinted black windows, bro. Limo tints. 100%. The repo men out here, they do not be in nothing known. 100%. It's an inconspicuous one of them little drop down whoop wops and in and out. That tow truck didn't look like no repo truck to me as
Bro,
well.
you ain't lying.
No, I'm look, bro. You know what I mean? I see them all the
They
time.
I mean, it could be independent parking because sometimes it's like they have cities that lease out. They let other companies take over, like they
illegally parked in.
It could have been that. That's what I'm saying.
Like,
it's just that you try to put the imagery out, like, oh, you get this cartel, look at them, like, come on, man. You already know what it is with that, man. I mean, you can't stop breakers, man. Show's still popping. Shout out to T-Rail, back on Fig and all that. You feel me?
Yeah, man. Shout out to T-Rail.
And AD and Gina Views. She got a good show. All of them doing good, man.
Gassing too.
Yeah. And we gotta pick up with people making moves out here, like, you know what I mean? This actually, trying to push the culture in a certain direction, man. Like, you feel me? Like, you can't just let, bullshit be like the top heading every week. Like, it's people in this culture that's doing good, that's doing what they're supposed to do. You know what I mean? But all right, so let's move on to the next topic, right? Let me see. Anthony Mackie, and he is basically saying success is given. Hold on, let me just bring this up real fast.
His name?
Biggest stars in the world. I've seen people go from one role.
We're gonna roll that back.
I've been in business 24 years, right? And I've seen people go from nothing to the biggest stars in the world. I've seen people go from one role to winning Academy Awards and doing all this shit. And what I realized yesterday, thinking about it, we're lying to our kids, dog.
You might want to turn them up just.
And I think that's a big problem in our community. We tell our kids that and this is fresh on my heart. Like, I literally just came to this conclusion last night. We tell our kids if they do right and they make the good grades and they go to the programs and they will become successful. If you work hard enough, your work will be paid off. And that's not true. Success is given. It's not earned. Because you can be the most brilliant. If one person don't tap you, each one of y'all, there were people who could hit harder, who could catch better.
You hearing that?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who could run faster. But somebody said, you're the one. And the other 50 behind you fell off. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And because of that, I don't know what that emotion or that feeling is the scary thing. Because I went to all the programs. I've done Broadway.
Now, I think when he's talking about it, he's more referring to acting, but we'll get to it.
Broadway. I've been in the business 24 years. I've been in 2 Academy Award films. I've done independent films. I've done major motion pictures. Now I'm cap.
All right. So what y'all think about that?
Willing to get bent over, I'm sure.
So
in that business, my bad joke.
Crazy. What y'all think about that right there?
Nepotism is real.
Do you think success is given, not earned?
I totally disagree with that part, to be honest with you. Success is given. That's crazy. I think there's examples of success that runs in a family that can lay out the examples and show you the path. I don't think success is given. Otherwise, that's nepotism. Like, if you're talking about like not acting or music, or in this case, maybe like in nursing, because this is real as fuck, in healthcare, and to get in places like Kaiser, but you have to be brought in, and most people bring in their family. So there's certain fields, but in this case, like if there's a lot of nepotism in art forms, like acting and music because
yeah, but I'm listen. I'm talking about
actors that get in because of who they know. Then on the flip side, and I'll leave it on this one. On the flip side, there's actors like Nicolas Cage, who's actually a nephew. His name is not Cage; it's a made up name. He's actually the nephew of not Scorsese. What's the dude who did Godfather? Ford Coppola.
Ford Coppola.
Francis. He is the nephew, blood related. First, his sister's son. This is his uncle right here, Nicolas Cage, and he chose consciously to change his name because he was it was the opposite effect. He couldn't get brought in. They wouldn't judge him for how good he actually was to get gigs. So he had to go through the grunt work, even though he had the handout, because no one would respect him for it. So I see both sides of the field, but I think this guy's crazy just to say success is given out. And are you part of some kind of organization where it's freaking set in stone? Otherwise, like, that's a crazy statement.
Now I feel like he's half right. I feel like networking, you just gotta. I just feel like it's not in the right context, but he's half right because networking is just as important as knowing the skill. You know what I mean? If you don't know how to network and really get yourself out there, then how are you gonna bring the opportunity to you? Because the opportunity is not just gonna fall in your lap all the time. You know what I mean? Most of the time, it's not gonna happen like that. You got to go out there and grab it. So if you don't know how to network, it's people that know how to network that get opportunities faster than people that don't know how to network. So I feel like that's just as important. But the context he's putting it in, it really only applies to what he's talking about, which is acting. Now I think that's where his point of view comes from. Because in acting that happens, but every single field is going to be a few people, but it ain't the majority. You know what I mean? It ain't the majority of them just getting pushed through just because they was picked. You know what I mean? Some people know how to network.
Nelson Tynes, the guy we brought on the podcast, bro. He earned every role. He went through the grunt work from the bottom and on up. You know what I mean? And he was like, man, it was hard to get roles. He had to really earn his roles because he didn't know nobody in the business. Nobody in his family or anyone he knew started in acting. He was like, I just had to go for it and keep trying and trying. And
but he's talking about who hit like the top peak, like the Tom Cruises, the get the roles, like Denzel Washington, get the roles, like all the big actors out here. He's saying people get picked to do that. You can work hard all you want, you still may not get a role like that. But I feel like that only applies to that lane. In acting, that can happen.
But also in the clip, he lists his accolades before he got Captain America. Broadway plays, Academy Award movies he played in, all types of shit. You know what I mean? Before he got that shit. So, you know what I mean? That means he put in the work. So even though, you got your foot in the door in the industry that you want to be in, and you putting in all the work and you getting certain shit and you killing it, you just not getting shit that you, what that shit called, you audition for, and you looking at the motherfuckers that's around you, and you got these boys beat, but just based on, you got something might be, so they might say, oh, he a little outspoken on the scene, or when we in the lunchroom, woo, woo, or he wear his hair like this, or she come in smelling like roses, but yet she's supposed to be wearing steel. It just be little certain shit that the motherfucker that's you trying to get the promotion or whatever you want to do with, this motherfucker just don't like you just because, even though you didn't put in all the work, you highly qualified, but yet you know what I mean, when it's time to pick somebody, they like, oh yeah, we just gonna go with Brad just because. But
I'm gonna ask you a question though, right? Is it good for him to teach his sons that though? That success is given, not earned.
No, it's not, because he said that we teach them that we need to do good in school. We need to have good work ethic. We need to have dedication and discipline. He said something like that at the beginning. And then he said, all that is a lie. Use a motherfucking lie. That's a lie. 100%, because you have to have that.
Yeah, for real.
Oh my mama!
I mean,
that is just a routine, and that's supposed to be part of your daily routine. 100%, giving 100%, no matter what you do and which level of success you reach, because success is in different levels, and it means different shit to different people. You know, successful just means that you can do whatever you want to do whenever you want to. Success means you might got 8, 9, 10 figures in the bank. Successful means that I could just vacation whenever I want to. 100%.
Yeah. Well, success doesn't always mean commercial success. You know, where it's all out there. You could be on the low and be successful and be able to do what you want to do, when you want to do, how you want to do it. You know what I mean? So, but my thing is too, you know, I seen a small example of something like that when I was younger, right? We used to have, like, I used to run track when I was a youngin', right? And
me
they
too.
They had a first place prize, a second place, and a third place prize when they was doing it like a school track meet, right? And the first place prize was this army set. The second place prize was like a racket set, right? I knew this going into the race. So I runs the race, beat the kid, right? Got first place, beat all of them, got first place. And then I was supposed to get the army set, right? Instead of me getting the army set, the kid started crying. The second place kid started crying over the army set to the point where they ended up giving him the army set and give me the second place prize.
Oh, fuck.
You feel me? So I don't think that you want your kid to, you know, you have to teach them to not feed into shit like that. You see what I'm saying? So teaching them is just given and not earned. It's like, where's gonna be their motivation to actually go and get it? If they feel like it's just given, I can put in all this work and
ridiculous to me.
Somebody else could get my opportunity. And you know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like you just got to put it in context when you're talking to somebody younger.
And when we're talking about the act, like, this is coming from an actor, a thespian, even. I
mean, you know,
like,
people say things, you know.
We know about them stories about in that industry, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but some people
can be given because they can, you know, do some woo wops and then get themselves into a better position.
We ain't getting into all that. But at the end of the day, like, you know, when he gives experience, some people give things based on their own experiences. So his experiences with acting, that's what he's been doing most of his life. So when his wisdom comes in certain things, you know, it's going to come from his experiences. But your children most likely are going to have different experiences than you. You know what I mean? So I think when you say stuff like that, it has to be put into context. You feel me? When you say, you know, success, you got to put that into context, because
that sounds like a person who's been victimized from gatekeepers until, and when I know victimized might be an extreme word, but like, you know, this sounds like a person who's worked hard and couldn't get there, but when he got there, he realized, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people who get
but
there.
I mean, he's Iron Man now. So, you know, I mean, that it seemed like it worked out in his favor. He's Iron Man now. That's the role that he's playing in the movie. That's a big role. Getting into those Marvel movies, those are big roles. Now I know there's a lot of unequalness because you might get paid 2-3 million for a role or 5 million for a role, and then another actor might get paid 15 million, 20 million to do the same role. You know what I'm saying? So I don't, you know, I know it might be some unequalness, but like I said, it's just coming from his lane, you know. But you just don't want to break that to a kid the wrong way, you know. Long story short, because they might take it the wrong way. They feel like, well, why don't I just skip the line? You know what I mean? Or find a way to skip the line. Like, you feel me? Which a little bit of that works, but you still got to put that work in, because even if you get your foot in the door, is what you know that's going to keep you in the door.
100%.
Do you think he's speaking to like a specific percentage of like individuals out there? Like, you know,
it automatically happens when he's on the podcast.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because he might be saying he's speaking this to his son, but everybody's listening to what you're saying on a public platform. So some people might listen to that.
And the platform is some brothers. You know what I mean? It was on the Pivot podcast.
That's what I'm saying.
Graphic.
Yeah, Captain America on that motherfucker.
100%. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I kind of understand it because, bruh he listed his accolades before he got to the point to where he got to. So he feels like if I done did all this and been a part of this, I should have been here earlier than what I am. But also on a spiritual level, you know what I mean? It's not your time, it's God's time, 100%. And all you can do is just continue to put the work in until boom, you know what I mean? But like I said, success is different, you know what I mean? Just making a career out of the industry that you're in, you know what I mean? That man, come on now, 100%. That's a W. You know what I mean?
I'll say one more thing on this one for me personally is like, I think I'll give him respect for like actually saying this shit on this platform, because that's kind of like owning up that, like, because of his coloration, you know what I mean? There's going to be a lot more opportunities given to him, you know what I mean? So that could be, some respect given why he would even say that on this platform. Because he knows it.
What you mean? I'm not getting what you're saying.
Like, okay, we're talking about the actor who played Captain America.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You said because of his coloration that is more opportunities given to him.
Like, Caucasian, like being a Caucasian male.
Oh, yeah. There's gonna be and the pay scale is different.
You're gonna naturally, because your coloration is gonna get
the pay
opportunities. You know what I mean? So this is him on this platform, admitting that.
But see, you know what? At the end of the day, like we have to work hard as Black people. We just got to be okay with that. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have to work harder to achieve the same thing that somebody might work less as hard as we work to achieve. That's just something we just gonna have to accept.
And I'm gonna further that too, though, because I was told this is like, right, whether you at work or whether you in the streets, look, bro, we don't get second chances. So don't fuck up. Whether you at your job, don't fuck your bread and butter up. You know what I mean? My dad called that the bread and butter, the 9 to 5. That's what puts the bread and the butter on your table, is your 9 to 5, 100%. Don't fuck that off, 100%. You know what I mean? No matter what you're doing, 100%. You know what I mean? Man, look, come on now. We got to be better, bro. 100%, man. This shit is crazy, man.
Yeah. All right. So, anything going out on that topic?
Put the work in. Put the work in, bro. 100%, man.
Don't depend on someone giving it to you.
Don't be afraid to get your hands dirty, man. Don't be afraid to sweat, man. Come on now. And that's just a metaphor.
Get some elbow grease on that thing.
On everything.
Yeah. Okay. So on this last topic, right? We got Mr. Beast. He opened a surgical facility in Ghana to help treat rescued child slaves. What y'all think about that?
Where is this?
In Ghana, Africa.
Wow, this is crazy. This is the first I ever heard of this. This is Mr. Beast. He always does like crazy shit. He's dope on YouTube.
Yeah, the highest paid on YouTube.
So now he's taking it to Africa, you say?
Some philanthropy around here.
This is good. Yeah. You gotta love philanthropy.
I don't know how I feel about that.
No, but I need you to elaborate on for me what he's doing.
Well, he's opening up a surgical facility. It says exactly what he's doing. He's opening up a surgical facility in Ghana to help treat rescue child slaves. Okay. So, he's trying to treat child slaves. But my thing is, I'm kind of weary sometimes when people have a lot of money and decide they want to go into philanthropy, because it's like, it's cool.
It's a big write-off.
No, it's cool for that. Like, I don't care about somebody getting a write-off, and I don't really care about none of that.
That is facts, though.
But it's certain people that they feel like because this person is successful at this, that they can administer a vaccine for something, or they can fix something, or they can do something.
Surgery.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know. Sometimes people get into these things and it be like, you don't know what the intentions are. You know what I mean? you know, you don't know what the intentions are. Like, you feel me? So, you know, and I'm not saying nothing with him, but it's just that when people get into these type of lanes where it's like they want to help poor people,
make people pigs.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's a play.
Make human guinea pigs, and that's not what we want.
Yeah, and then you go to a place where historically there's been other people, outsiders, who come in trying to do shit like this too. You know what I mean?
You feel me? You know, like it's like, say for instance, like somebody say they want to go and they want to get the land fertile in a certain area because these people wasn't able to get crops and stuff like that. Next thing you know, these people sitting on a diamond mine.
Yeah, for real.
You feel me? You get me?
Yeah, because then there's not like, I mean, I don't know how healthcare is there, let alone surgeons. Like, I'm in California. Like, if you get into a certain woo-wop, bro, and it's that serious, they'll fly you right to Stanford. You know what I mean? Because we have specialists in Stanford in the Bay Area, specialists in everything. So it's like when you talk about like, okay, he's going to open up a surgical clinic. This must mean just basically in general, surgical things, let alone surgical clinics or hospitals. This thing is not as common as it is in our country. So it must be mad lucrative to go.
Yeah, like what's the game? You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
so where's the intentions, like you said?
Yeah, that's what I be wanting to know, because you know I've seen Bill Gates, you know, do stuff like similar to this, and I don't know if I trust some of that stuff that, you know, they was doing when they was over there trying to administer vaccines and all that. Like I just don't be knowing, bro. Like that, I don't know about that. I don't know about that level of philanthropy. Like, it's one thing when you giving back to the people, you know, you bringing resources and stuff like that to the people that, you know, are less fortunate. You know, I believe in that level of philanthropy, giving them knowledge, things to read, you know what I mean, teaching them things, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes down to I'm going to give you a vaccine or I'm going to do surgery on you, like, you know, I'm not understanding that. I'm not getting that. I don't know where that's going. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can find something else on this joint, because I need a little bit more on this right here.
Yeah, hopefully it's just open in the building. It ain't got nothing to do with no see over the daily, you know what I mean? Because, you know, it definitely is quite a suspicion of why there, you know what I mean? 100%. Why not? What's going on in the US?
I got homies, bro, that went to med school.
No, you can't pick and choose what other motherfuckers want to do, what they want to, you know, for what they want to do and what their causes is. But you definitely can, you know, wonder what their motive is. It for sure.
All right, so let me see what they're saying right now. Right, I'm gonna show y'all something real fast. Okay, now this right here, come on, man, what are you doing? All right, so Mr. Beast Philanthropy partners with local Ghana nonprofit. Ghana Make a Difference, a nonprofit that supports children in Ghana, has partnered with Beast Philanthropy to construct a free surgical center in West Africa. Okay, Ghana Make a Difference, an Idaho-based nonprofit supporting vulnerable children in Ghana, has partnered with Mr. Beast Philanthropy to construct a state-of-the-art surgical center offering free medical services in West Africa. The facility, completed in October 2024, marks a collaboration between GMAD and the popular YouTube philanthropist organization. Since its funding in 2012. GMAD has focused on sheltering and educating children in crisis, but its new initiative expands to address critical medical needs. The partnership with Mr. Beast Philanthropy has been a game changer, said Austin Johnson, the GMAD executive director. With this surgical center, we are tackling one of the biggest challenges families face: access to surgical care. The center will provide free surgical procedures, helping prevent families from falling into poverty due to medical costs. A key component of GMAD's mission is to keep families together and promote self-reliance. The collaboration began after Jimmy Donaldson, known as Mr. Beast, toured GMAD facilities during a trip to West Africa in April 2024. Beast Philanthropy released a video documenting the project on March 30th, 2025. GMAD officials hope this partnership will inspire additional donations to support their work against child slavery and vulnerability in Ghana. I don't know. What y'all think, man? What y'all think?
My bad, bro. Man, I think that shit, you know, hopefully it is what it is, what that article says, bro. 100%. You know what I mean? If he just, you know, donated the dough to go ahead and get the facility built, and you know what I mean, it's a nonprofit, it started in Idaho. So he's definitely gonna get the tax write-off because the nonprofit is based in Idaho that helps out West Africa. So there it is there. You know what I mean? I think that's what it is. It's a damn good tax write-off, but also a damn good deed. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, like you know, I don't know, man. You know, like I said, man, I just get a little iffy when, you know, people getting into philanthropy on that level. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't be knowing what their intentions are. So, but we'll see. Hopefully, you know, it turns out to be something more beneficial than non-beneficial. You know what I mean? Because, you know, growing up, you know, you watch these places, man, and you know, they'd be like, you know, for 12 cents a day, you can feed an underprivileged kid. You know what I'm saying? You make it seem like everybody in Africa is just broken, starving, and poor. And you know, with the power of the internet, people being able to connect, you see that Africa is not all that. You know what I mean? There's another side to Africa that people are actually thriving. You feel me? Then there's people that there is poverty, but then there's people that's thriving, and then there's people that choose to live, you know, as tribes and things of that nature. You know, that's the living that they're accustomed to. You know what I mean? So it all makes sense now. So you can't sell me this, you know, I'm going over there to help. Like, all right, what are you helping? What are you really doing? You know, are these people getting out of their position? You know what I mean? You know, with this so-called help y'all doing. You know what I mean? You know, we need examples. You know, we need results to show what y'all really doing. Or it's just, you know, or just a way for y'all, you know, to do some more other stuff.
Just like you said too, is no matter how honest this guy could be for real and how much his good intentions could be, he has to battle against hundreds of years of motherfuckers coming through talking that same shit.
Yeah. So, you know, you know,
so it's
it is what it is. But yeah, so let me know where they can find y'all at, man. JD, where they can find you at?
Hard to Start podcast, man. 100%. You know what I mean? Orange juice and a blunt for breakfast. Y'all know what time it is. We are the digital newspaper, fellas.
Yes,
all us, you know what I mean? You know what time it is. You can find me on the motherfucking Gen Well for the fantasy football. Wake your game up. The grit don't quit. The real fantasy playmakers, and I got some shit cooking up. I'm finna drop 2 solo videos here, hopefully by the end of this week. So I'm in the lab cooking up some shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, we in this motherfucker trying to continue to push that boulder up this hill, man. 100%, man. What's going on?
Okay, where they can find you at?
Man, likewise, you know, we just continuing to push this boulder uphill. Catch me on GenWealthNet _ all one word on Instagram, GenWealthNet on YouTube, and Bogart Scott Free anywhere you consume your music, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, etc.
Yes, sir. Oh, find me at Fans Perspective. You know what I mean? On YouTube, Vision on Instagram. Get out there. All right. Peace.
Peace.
Let's get it, bro.